Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and today on episode 217, we have an amazing home in Kessler Park you do not want to miss.
And in our second segment, if you've got the dream of home ownership, we're going to help you satisfy that.
What a great topic, given the fact that it is spring, and we are really beginning to see things happen just within the last several days. We put multiple under contract, and the phones have been ringing, which is really nice because it is a very interesting market. I was reading on HomeWire earlier this week, and they were talking about how what was projected in January to what is happening today has really stumped a lot of the economists and what they thought was going to happen, which I think is interesting. I think the latest thing that they saw that hit the bond market was the collapse of the bank in Silicon Valley.
There are actually three total, I think, that they FDIC took control of.
Yep, and how that actually had an impact on the financial world and how people were moving their money around. And I'm like, this is so interesting that we can have banks in California that can cause this national ripple within the housing market. And it is really interesting to see how small we really are and how interconnected we are, even in this times when everything seems to move so fast.
Yeah, it really does. And you know, it's funny. It is the way I've seen it or read it impacting the financial market in terms of mortgages is it has caused interest rates to move up a bit and then move back down a bit. But many of the people that I've read said they really feel like this might cause the Fed to stop raising interest rates right now, because they don't want to do something that would push our economy into a recession. It's kind of like, okay, let's kind of see how this shakes out in the market. And
And the January job reports came back, and everything was really high on that as well. So it's just this,
And inflation was down a bit. So
I feel like it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. So might as well get in while the prices are still not appreciating terribly so far this year.
That's so true. That's so true.
Well, what did you do this weekend? We always like to wrap and kind of give you a feel for what we have been up to.
What did we do this weekend? We went with a bunch of friends to happy hour on Friday night. Saturday, we got up. We went for a walk on North Haven Trail. It was so pretty on Saturday. It was cold with the wind, but when you were in the sun, it was absolutely spectacular. And then we went to some other friend's house Saturday afternoon. We putzed around Sunday. It was really kind of an inactive weekend.
It's kind of nice. It's like, I feel like it's a calm right before the storm because it is spring break. And so we've got a lot of people out of town right now. It's really funny because I went to Home Depot this weekend over by you, and the succulents I put on Facebook, I said the succulents are so good right now that it's odd. And so, I had to buy some stuff and get it in the ground. But it is a little bit cold. I don't feel like we've been to a couple of nurseries and, they're all talking about, hey, in the next 2 weeks, we should have the big push of everything that we're going to have on the market. But right now, it's just kind of like pickings. Because actually, did you know that it's going to get to 38 this Friday night?
Is it really? Wow.
Actually, 34. So we'll see. That's really close to a freeze. So I don't know. I did put a little bit outside, so we'll see what happens. Well, you know what? Not the only thing that's heating up is the market. So let's take a look at what's going on in the Market Watch.
So here's what's happening in Dallas County in the last week or so. The number of coming soons is up 21%. There were 69 new coming soons. Coming soon is a status in MLS that agents are not required to use, but if they're doing any marketing on the home, they need to have the info in there. And then new actives. Properties are really just neutral from where they were a week ago. There were 408 new listings came on the market. And option period is really the first status that properties go to when they're under contract. And that was up about 7% last week in Dallas County to 372.
And things are continuing to increase even in the pending. So this is up 2% over last week, which gives us 168 units that have made it through the option period and are getting closer to the closing date. Now, solds are down, and that's okay because we're in the middle of the week, down 24%, which is 288. Again, numbers are skewed a little bit at the end of the month and then beginning of the month, and so we still are seeing that taper off, which is normal. And then we also see that mortgage rates for a 30-year conforming right now are at 6.69, which is down just a hair, a smidgen.
0.00004.
Yeah, that's hardly anything. So What we typically do is pull this just for Dallas County, but one of the great things is that because of the way MLS is set up for us, we can actually pull data based on zip codes, specific neighborhoods. We can even do it for an elementary school. So if there's something that you want to know, let us know. We can pull that and put that together for you. One of the best things in a market that's ascending, as we assume it's going to be, is to know what's happening before you get there, so you can make the best decision moving forward.
We work with a lot of people that may not be buying a house for 6 months, but it's important for them to get a vibe for the market, see what's going on, see what's going under contract, see what's selling.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting because we always talk about how like the clients refer to the type of people that they are, and we kind of have gotten this streamlined of like really focused, due diligent clients that are not silly but really get things done and are great. And I feel like we have been referred this wave of buyers and sellers that are really getting ahead of the curve, which is so nice because it gets so difficult when it's like,
I got to buy a house and I got to be out in a month. And,
or bring my house on the market and I want top dollar in the next 10 days. And you're like, hey, that's awesome, but it takes us a little longer to market than that. So anyway, let's start off with the first house that we've got. And this is an amazing house. It's 1227 North Winnetka Avenue. This is in Kessler Park, and it is absolutely stunning on an amazing street.
And this is part of the Kessler Park Conservation District, which encompasses a small part of the neighborhood there. That is a city ordinance that really kind of controls what the outside of the home looks like, how, they really want to retain the charm of some of the older neighborhoods. And this one has so much charm oozing from it. Absolutely.
And so one of the great things is that Sylvan and Hamilton will get you into Dallas as well without having to jump on 30 and head in. One of the great things is that with the new Calatrava Bridge, I say new, it's been here 8 years, but because of that Calatrava Bridge, it's really allowed the Oak Cliff to actually connect into Dallas much easier and has alleviated some of the need and some of the stress when you're getting in and out.
It really is, and you can get on 30 and head to the west and be at DFW in a matter of probably within 20 minutes. If you need to head into Love Field, jumping on Hampton, heading north, Hampton turns into Inwood, and then when you get to Cedar Springs, you're 2 blocks from the front of the airport.
And one of the things that's really amazing that's happening in this area is for so long, all of the galleries were, not all, but 90% of the galleries in Dallas were located in the design district, pretty much on Dragon Street. A couple of here and there, Slocum and whatnot, but they're really moving into the fabrication area, which is amazing. And we're seeing 500X moved out of Fair Park. Row 2 Art, you just read, left the Cedars.
They've just had their last 2 closing receptions, and they are about to have their 2 first artist opening receptions at their gallery on Blacken Street, I think it's what it's called.
Yeah, and then one of the exciting galleries that I'm really excited about, Joey Brock was just at this gallery, and it's Daisha Board's gallery, and she is one of the first Black women to own a gallery. It is amazing. Click on her website if you want to. She's got a really great reception coming up for another artist as well, but she has really amazing work. And I met her at the other art fair. She was genuine and full of energy, and I really, really enjoyed speaking with her. And then for her to pick up Joey Brock, it was just a really great one too.
That's great.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Wonderful location there.
Yep. The other thing, I feel like I put these links together because this will be my perfect day. So let's start off. They're in backwards order, but the next thing
I'm just going to sit over here.
The next thing is Lucia. Lucia is in the heart of the Bishop Art District. And this is, if you're not from Dallas, this is a local only kind of a place. But you need to plan ahead. So if you're coming here and you want to have an amazing Italian meal in a very small, intimate restaurant, this is the place for you.
I have never eaten there, but I've heard exactly what you just said, and I've heard everyone just raves about how good the food is.
And the deal is, I don't think they let you book. I think it's every 30 days they open. So if you don't get a booking, it's kind of like it falls off. But
interesting.
So if I had my druthers, my next favorite thing to do would be to play pickleball. And so there are some really great places. If you are a pickleball lover like we are, the 2 places that are really great right now. Keys Park has, I believe, 8 lit pickleball courts, and I've played here Sunday morning and it's packed. I played here, I think, what was it, like Thursday night, and it was packed one time. So great, and there's tons of people. Easy way to go pick up games. And then one of the other ones is over there by Kids Springs Park.
Oh, that's right. We drove over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Kids Springs Park is really great. They also have 2 pickleball courts. Lots of families walking around and enjoying it. I went and played there with Mickey Carr the other day on a Sunday. It was his first time to play. It was so windy. One side, you could hit it as hard as you want and it just barely drop. And the other side, you had to tap it and it would go all the way to the baseline. So I had to really tell him that is not the normal pickleball route. So let's get started.
Let's get started. This is a beautiful home at 1227 North Winnetka. Wonderful drive-up appeal. There is plenty of street parking there, and then also really good off-street parking.
And one of the things I like to look at when I'm looking at houses is what do the other houses look around? This is a great street. Everybody has a really nice house. This one has been so well cared for. There have been multiple owners of this home, and I feel like each one of the homeowners has done more and more to that. We'll kind of point those out as we go inside.
And this is when you come in the front entryway. As you look off to the left-hand side, this is the screened-in porch, which has just been done beautifully. This is one of the real charms in a lot of Oak Cliff homes is to have this porch, and then to have one of the owners screen it in like that really creates an additional living space you don't get some other places.
And so the living room is an amazing size, anchored by a really great fireplace. And as we tour these pictures, I'm going to point out elements that are original that they've kept, like the little shelving there with the mirrored backing. What we did here is we'll spin around and we wanted to show you that there is plenty of room for art. There's great art lighting, and from here you can see the front door there on the left, and then also the outside patio entrance.
And this is in the dining room, the formal dining room, and you called this a key and foliage?
Yes, because look, there's keys in the foliage.
Yeah, it's a beautiful wallpaper. Yeah. A lot of people would not take something like this and do this with it, but it fits this house so beautifully.
It's an impact room. And the great thing is that I feel like each one of the rooms and each one of the hallways has an impact. And so they work together to have a really strong design element here. You can see that there's great lighting in here. And this transition is, as you and Michael were saying, this was probably like a little seating area for a breakfast nook, but they made it a seating area. And again, they kept the great shelves in the corner. They kept the knotty pine, and they went back with that rich chocolate to create this really cool seating area. I just want to fill up all of those bookshelves with tequila and bourbon. I think that would be perfect for that.
Yeah, that would be a great backsplash there. This is as you step into the kitchen from that sitting room, and the marble countertops, or granite countertops that have been carried all the way up the backsplash in most of the spaces works very well. The color selection here with the cabinetry and the green that runs through the vein of the countertops is fantastic.
And this was a redo by a restaurateur here that's local. I believe it was the owner of Clark. So there's a lot of elements behind the scenes that make this so much more usable, but really designed forward, like the glass and the light and the top of the cabinets. They just thought about how it flowed and made it a real working kitchen, but yet a beautiful working kitchen to boot. And as we come around outside, down the hall from the kitchen, this is the wainscot and the wallpaper that they used, and we're looking into the master. And so you can see the master with the knotty pine, and then past that is the actual bathroom.
Here on the right-hand side is the entry into the bathroom, and on the left, you get a better picture of what this room is. That's a king-size bed. Those are probably 42-inch nightstands. This room is huge. Also, those panels that you see on the back of the wall are also screening two windows that look out into the back porch or backyard, and those panels can also be removed very easily.
Let's talk about statement granite, because this bathroom is covered in statement granite. And it looks like that is tufted material on the walls, but that's actually wallpaper.
I know, it's so cool.
And this transitions into the guest bedroom. Now this guest bedroom is really cool because it has a Jack and Jill bathroom to the other bedroom, but it also has a Jack and Jill closet, which allows there to be so much more space. Super smart use. And this is the example of this is the Jack and Jill bathroom.
And this is the backyard. Lots and lots of space in this backyard. As you can see, the very tall, mature pecan trees, outdoor seating area there. I love that they use the gravel in some of these other spaces because I think it gives it that real rustic feel.
So this is 1227 North Winnetka Avenue. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. It's just over 2,000 square feet, priced at $835,000, which is $409 a square foot. And we want to say thank you so much to Michael Mahon for allowing us to preview and feature this home.
So there's lots of pictures we didn't get to show you. They're in the links below if you want to click on any of those and see that. If you'd like to see the house, reach out to us. We would be happy to make that happen. And with that, we'll be right back. Did you know there are a lot of ways you can keep up with us? For starters, every Wednesday at noon, we host Sold with Updike Pugh, live from our Facebook and YouTube channels. Our show is dedicated to featuring some of the best homes in the Dallas market and about sharing timely information about market trends. But don't worry if you missed the show, because you can always listen to them on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify.
Still want more? Follow us on Instagram, where you get a first-hand look at what it's like to be a realtor. It's not always previewing homes for clients or getting them ready to go live in MLS. Lastly, visit our website and you'll be able to create a custom home search tailored specifically to your wants and needs that's timely and accurate. Whether it's square foot, location, or the neighborhood, we have you covered.
If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, we can help with that too. Just visit homeprice.fyi, enter a few pieces of information like your home address, and we'll email you a price. When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.
Hi everybody, welcome to the second segment, episode 217 of Sold with Updike Pugh. I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and today we are going to talk about things you need to know when pursuing your dream home.
And it's interesting that home ownership is really, there's a couple of things about it that everybody talk about or think about, and there are really kind of four top motivators to buy a home. One is people think the cost of renting is too high.
I agree with that
which,
right now.
Our rent market has just gone nutso. Number two is that buying a home or buying real estate in general is such a great wealth building tool, because
Absolutely.
You hedge against inflation, you get the appreciation, you get the tax benefits, all of those things. 16% of the people have a sense of security that they feel they're going to have once they buy a home. And then last of all was 37% of the people interviewed for this said they were going to be using that home as an investment property at some point. And again, trying to create that financial wealth that real estate can do.
And it is. The other thing too that it doesn't point out is that it's easy to buy a house in Dallas and really in the United States. One of the guys that we played pickleball with is from London, and he was saying that to buy a house, it takes 9 to 10 months in London from start to finish. And here, we can do it in 19 days or less if you've got cash. So things move.
They do. And, I think that one of the great things that our government did many, many years ago was set up a Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, where they would be the secondary market to buy these mortgages, because prior to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the banks had to hold on to those mortgages. And so they would, potentially be holding a low interest rate mortgage for, the average was, I think, 7 to 9 years. And it really limited the amount of money the banks had to lend to the next person, because they had nowhere to sell those mortgages.
Absolutely. And the other thing too is think about how tough it was if you were not from that area to get a bank from a local a loan from a local bank. So good things have changed.
Yeah, and that is, excuse me, and that is one of the things, excuse me, and that's one of the things that really is one of the two things, and so that mortgage process can be so intimidating.
It can be, but it really isn't. So many things have changed in the mortgage industry. Just in the 8 to 10 years that we've been here in Dallas doing this, or I have, before you had to submit and resubmit all your documents to the lender. And today they're able to access your accounts and just pull that directly out, which is a huge help. I mean, just aggregating all the data, I think, sometimes is just so overwhelming for people.
Yes, it is. And then if one piece gets lost, they ask for it again, and it frustrates people. The other part of it that is somewhat intimidating is that there are a lot of myths around how much you need to have to be able to buy a house. And so it's hard to know how much you need to save.
Right. And that's why it's so important to have a really strong lender that can know how to help you structure both long and short-term financial goals, because PMI might not be that big of a deal to you, or it may be something that you absolutely don't want. But if you don't know if you can buy the PMI rate down and put that into your loan, there's a lot of factors that need to be discussed when you make this, and it's not that hard.
It's not. And you can go from, like if you're a veteran with VA eligibility benefits, you can do 0 down and the seller can pay every closing cost for you, where you virtually move into a house with no money out of pocket. And then, if you're not a veteran, the next step up is there's both conventional programs with 3% down. Seller can pick up most of your closing costs, and then FHA's got 3.5% down.
And there's also programs out there that are for teachers and firefighters that give you a grant up to 3% if you qualify. So there are so many elements out there. Take advantage of these things, and don't get suckered in and think that it's beyond control.
And don't think the market's out of control anymore, because it is as good a time to buy a house. If you are somebody that's looking at a house and you don't know if you're going to be living there a year, maybe it's not a great time. If you're somebody that knows you're going to be in your home 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, it's a great time to buy a house.
Absolutely.
So I hope you found this helpful. If there's any other topics you'd like for us to talk about, please reach out and let us know. We'd be happy to do that for you.
And just remember, we want to be realtors for life.
When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.